unforgettable images of Flight 23 years. This aviation tragedy ended the grand ambitions of TransAsia Airways.
The aircraft, which had only been in operation for 10 months, shattered in the skies over Taiwan.
So what caused this tragedy? Was it due to mechanical failure, human error, or nature? To answer this question, join us in exploring the details of the incident.
TransAsia Airways fateful Flight 23 encountered an irreparable mistake in the air. As usual, before getting into the main content, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Suko Koda channel.
To support our team, sincerely thank you. This is the story of the TransAsia Flight 23 accident.
TransAsia Airways was a Taiwanese airline operating both domestic and international flights.
It was founded in 1951 under the initial name of Taiwan Air Transport Company, state-owned. Over the years, the airline underwent several name changes and transformations, finally becoming TransAsia Airways in the late 1980s under the ownership of Ambassador Airways. The airline mainly focused on regional routes in Asia,
specifically Taiwan, China, Japan, and Southeast Asia. Over years of operation, TransAsia Airways continuously expanded its fleet and route network,
with the goal of becoming a leading airline in the industry. But ironically, contrary to its grand ambitions, the airline faced numerous financial difficulties and safety concerns, especially after a series of accidents, including TransAsia Flight 222.
The most serious accident the airline had ever encountered.
Specifically, on July 23, 2014,
an ATR 72500 aircraft en route from
Kaohsiung International Airport to Magong encountered bad weather,
causing the plane to crash into a residential area while attempting to land. As a result, 48 out of 58 people on board lost their lives. Subsequent investigations indicated that weather factors,
crew error in decision-making, and approach issues were the causes, leading to this tragedy. The incident dealt a heavy blow to TransAsia's image and seriously affected their business operations. Sadly, less than 8 months later, the costly lessons seemed not to have been learned.
On February 4, 2015, TransAsia Flight 235 carrying passengers from Songshan Airport,
Taipei to Kinmen Airport. The flight used an ATR 72600 aircraft, which had only been in service for 10 months.
The aircraft was equipped with propeller engines famous for reliability and safety, with a capacity of 72 to 78 passengers. On board were 53 passengers and 5 crew members. The flight was piloted by Captain Liao Jianzhe.
Around 10 o'clock, passengers had settled in their seats and safety instructions were completed. At 10:51 a.m., TransAsia Flight 235 took off. The aircraft was at an altitude of about 365 meters and turning right when suddenly the control panel indicated
a right engine had shut down. In the emergency situation, the captain attempted to handle the issue but accidentally pulled the wrong throttle. Instead of reducing power to the right engine, he reduced power to the left engine, meaning the engine that was still functioning normally. This action led to extremely serious consequences. The aircraft lost thrust in both engines.
The final words recorded from the captain were full of despair.
Mayday, mayday, engine flame up.
The loss of both engines triggered a series of danger warnings,
causing the crew to fall into a state of panic.
They tried to restart the engine, but all efforts failed.
The aircraft had completely lost power,
began to plunge straight down, and this entire horrifying process was recorded by a nearby car's dashcam.
The footage also showed the plane narrowly escaping by avoiding a high-rise building,
but still flipped 90 degrees before crashing into the Keelung River. The events in the footage were truly too horrifying.
Immediately after receiving the accident notification at 10:55 a.m., 7 firefighting teams equipped with water engines, boats, and rafts quickly arrived at the scene within minutes to perform rescue operations. They swam across the river to reach the aircraft wreckage.
Sadly, many people had died before the rescue team arrived.
The rescue team began extracting survivors, placing them on inflatable boats and transferring them ashore. 27 injured people were immediately taken to nearby hospitals. However, many of them did not survive due to severe injuries. Out of 58 people on the plane, only 15 were fortunate to survive.
Coincidentally, this number matched the casualties of Flight 222 that occurred 8 months earlier. Also with 58 people but only 15 returned safely.
An investigation into the incident was immediately conducted. The investigation was led by the Taiwan Aviation Safety Council and completed in January 2016. The investigation results showed the incident was due to a combination of multiple factors. Among them, the main cause was that during takeoff, a malfunction in the automatic system
caused engine number 2 to unintentionally switch to windmilling propeller mode. Additionally, the crew's failure to follow emergency procedures led to shutting down engine number 1. And this directly caused the plane to crash. Ultimately, the crew was held responsible for this tragedy. The investigation also found that Captain Liao Qian-sung, who was piloting the aircraft, had difficulties during simulator training in May 2014, including lacking knowledge in handling engine failure during takeoff situations. At that time, instructors noted that Liao was prone to stress
and could make mistakes in engine startup procedures.
They also said he performed the test with lack of confidence. The investigation report further stated the crew did not respond timely and effectively to warnings.
As a result, the plane lost power and continued descending while the crew attempted to restart the engine. Besides, although the automatic takeoff power control system was faulty, the crew still proceeded with takeoff.
All this showed the crew's ineffective coordination, communication, and threat management. Severely impacted flight safety. Simply put, the crew was completely passive and didn't know how to handle the situation. Sadly, it's very likely the crew managed to restart the engine a few seconds before the collision occurred, as the propeller was spinning at that time, but it was too late.
After the accident, Taiwan's Civil Aviation Administration ordered emergency situation handling drills
for 49 ATR fleet pilots. They had pilots perform emergency drills to reinforce skills. The Aviation Safety Council also reviewed crew resource management training and engine failure situations. To implement this additional training, hundreds of flights were canceled. Pilots who failed the subsequent tests were dismissed. On the airline side, a TransAsia spokesperson announced, about staff training, but we hope family representatives could bring this proposal back for consideration. In reality, the compensation amount for each family was only about $38,000, too low compared to the pain and loss they suffered. Therefore, many families refused this compensation amount.
The TransAsia Airways Flight 235 accident truly emphasized the importance of aviation safety and the crew's emergency situation handling capability during flight.
Thanks to this, the security camera footage of the incident became global hot news and prompted additional safety checks at all airlines. Following this tragic incident, TransAsia Airways ceased operations and closed down. The accidents involving flights 222 and 235 played a significant role in the downfall of this airline, and ultimately led to the company filing for bankruptcy on November 22, 2016. Our story for today ends here.
Thank you for listening to the story with Con Ha on the True Incidents channel.
Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the Realm of the Unseen channel so you don't. Now, Con Ha says goodbye and looks forward to seeing you in the next videos.
If the veil stirred, subscribe and meet the next encounter.